So earlier this month, we got a bunch of numbers out of Emirates, which, given it's not a listed company and they do not need to tell us, we appreciate. Record profit and record revenues for the airline and for the group for their financial year. And in it, passenger numbers crossed the 53.5 million mark, up 3%, which has got us wondering, what does that mean for Skywards and its members? We're very pleased to be joined by the Skywards Senior Vice President, Dr. Najib Ben-Khedher. It's lovely to see you.
Thanks, Brandy, for the invite. Last time I was here, I was wearing a double hat. I was actually CIO and head of Skywards, and Tom was interviewing me. Less of an emotional topic, but I'm ready for this one.
Do you know what? So, the late great Malcolm Taylor always said, if you want to get people sending in messages...
School fees and Skywards miles.
School fees and Skywards miles.
I remember very well, yeah.
And it is a sign of how attached everyone is to Emirates that they...
Absolutely.
You need to worry when no one cares.
Yeah. No, and a lot of people care, and you know, we get a lot of feedback from our customers, obviously, and we listen to what they have to say. But just on your question around the growth, we've seen a 9% growth in terms of our member base, and this is worldwide. I mean, as a reminder, really, Skywards is a global loyalty program. It has 35 million members today, and then 2.5 of which are here in the UAE. So growth of 9%, which is also the growth that we've seen here in the UAE in terms of member base.
Okay, I'm going to dig into that. So are you saying that 9% rise happened in the last financial year?
Months.
Exactly. Yeah. How does that work? 3% rise in passenger numbers, but a 9% rise in Skywards members. Yeah. So you're outpacing the airline's growth.
We are in some way, right? And we've expanded beyond just being a frequent flyer program, as you know, in the past decade or so. We've tripled in size. And a lot of it comes from the fact that we became a lifestyle loyalty program, if you will, with the members interacting with us, but with us as an airline, us and Fly Dubai, obviously Emirates and Fly Dubai, since we're the loyalty program of both airlines, but also with an expansive ecosystem of partnerships as well.
The other number you've just said there, 2.5, is that percent of all of your members?
2.5 million members are here in the UAE. Obviously, the most active members are here in the UAE as well. So around 15% of our active members are actually here in the UAE.
What's happening to the distribution of members between tiers? Is that shifting at all?
No, we're keeping the tiers exclusive in some way or fashion so that we can continue to provide a very rewarding experience to our premium tier members.
Okay, but in terms of where people sit, if we were to break it down into rough percentages, are you seeing any shifts in the makeup between what percentage is blue, what percentage is silver, what percentage is gold?
It's, of course, since the base has grown by 9%, but our premium tiers have just stayed flat, if you will. We've seen more blue members coming into the mix. Also, we're becoming a democratized program when it comes to the use of Skywards miles. So from an earn proposition, we're offering more earn possibilities for people above and beyond flights. And from burn perspective as well, we're offering a proposition to our customers from the first mile they earn. Cash Plus miles have become extremely attractive for members as well. They're using that above and beyond, the classic rewards and upgrades that we see.
Okay, I was going to say, when you say active member, how do you count an active member? Someone
active
who's
members,
flying?
We look at it from two points. One of the metrics we look at is 24 months active. We're an international carrier with a long tail of infrequent travelers. So we look at 24 months active, and we look at 12 months active, program active, meaning people interacting again with the airline, flying, but also interacting with our partners. And we've added a number of everyday partners. Here in the UAE, we have a Skywards Everyday platform where we have more than 400 brands and 1,200 physical outlets where you can earn miles by just swiping your card.
Yeah, we've spoken to Emirates about their tie-up with you.
Emirates is one of the partners on the platform, but Union Co-op as well from a grocery shopping, and Costa, the everyday retail and dining as well.
I'm interested in whether or not loyalty programs are still the glue to the airline that they were originally set up to be. We've got higher tickets across the board in the industry. It costs more to fly, and so anecdotally we're hearing more about people shopping around for cheaper flights. Does that mean that people are less bound to booking a flight with Emirates regardless for the points, if there's a couple of thousand dirhams, maybe if someone's got a sale on in the ticket price?
That is not what we're seeing, as I mentioned, right? There's a growth in terms of the member base. There's a growth in terms of activity around the program. Actually, from an earned transaction perspective, we're scoring 100,000 transactions a day. That's 17% growth year over year. That shows you engagement with the program as well. But people are mostly interested with flight rewards when it comes, about redemption, right? We've seen the redemptions last year alone, despite the flights being full, as you mentioned, and our load factors being in the higher 70s. We've seen 30% growth in flight rewards. That includes upgrades that grew by around 10%. Classic rewards that grew by nearly 50%, and that's due to the fact that we've lowered the number of miles, especially in economy, and allowed one-way rewards as well. And Cash Plus miles has grown as well by nearly 30%.
Do you know if your members are members of multiple programs? Do you collect that data?
We don't have that data, at our fingertips, if you will, as well. But we can say that we're growing very fast, even in very competitive markets. Our highest growth is coming from the US, from Germany, and from Russia. And we're talking about double-digit growth in these markets, which means we are a global program. Of course, we're catering to a large base here in the UAE, and we care a lot about what we're doing here in the UAE, but we also cater to a very large base. Our largest base is in the UK. We have 4.5 million members in the UK. So as a program, we need to cater to this. And then, as I mentioned, in extremely competitive markets, we're seeing high growth as well. Of course, a lot of it is driven by Emirates. We're blessed to be the loyalty program of an airline that has that attractiveness, and the brand is so strong outside our markets. The NBA sponsorship helped us in the US as well, for example. So, by the way, we one of the redemptions, I talk a lot about flights, but one of the emotional redemptions is Skywards exclusives and the money can't buy experiences, what we're offering. NBA is part of it. Just right now, we're closing on Roland Garros. We had one gold members who redeemed 800,000 miles for 4 tickets for the finals at Roland Garros. That's 4 round trips, first class to London from Dubai, 800,000 miles. So it just tells you these are money can't buy experiences, and we're one of the very few programs that offer that.
How big is Skywards as a business, if we were to compare it to what we see coming out of other airlines?
Sure. We're have 35 million members, as I mentioned. We're very global. We're actually the largest international airline loyalty program outside of the US and China. And then US and China, mostly the big three we're talking about in the US, ride mostly on the domestic markets and the domestic network. So they have a major domestic base. So we're very global in size. I mean, Brandy, we just won another award, a Global Loyalty Award yesterday, and now we're winning above and beyond airline. We're winning in multiple categories award. And then we had another one yesterday in Orlando at the Loyalty 360 conference. We won one just last week. In the last 12 months, we won actually 9 awards, 3 of which were outside the travel category as a loyalty practice.
I've called you a business because it is a business. Separate and above and beyond from the airline, you are out there striking commercial partnerships with banks, for example, who are buying miles. There is a commercial transaction between you and them.
Absolutely. And here we have 5 banks that we're working with. The latest was HSBC. We have 12 products out there in terms of co-brand. Co-brand credit cards, when it comes to the UAE, we represent around 1 out of 5 transactions in the UAE are actually on Skywards co-brand credit cards. We do that so that we allow our members to earn more miles so that they can reward on flights and fly better. We talk about fly better, live better, fly better, travel better, live better through the program as well, by just providing enhanced access to rewards for our members.
Is Skywards profitable outside of Emirates? If we were to look at you as your own P&L?
We don't think of it that way. I mean, I know in the US, for example, that the loyalty programs are valued sometimes even more than the airlines themselves. For us, those relationships that we have, whether it's co-brand financial partnerships or lifestyle partnerships that I mentioned earlier, are here to provide more relevance on a day-to-day basis. As I mentioned, we have a lot of infrequent travelers, and it is important for us to be top of mind on a daily basis. So whenever people are thinking about traveling at some point of time, they have amassed a number of miles that allow them either to get a discount on a ticket through a Cash Plus Miles, or to get a reward ticket, or to get an upgrade, which again is the most sought after redemption.
Yeah, and you've described yourself as having sort of the best job in the world or the easiest job in the world, because the airline sells itself. I'd argue that you don't, because are you not at odds with the finance team at Emirates, where you want your loyalty program to be rewarding people? They want to sell seats. How does that equation work?
There is a balance there. And obviously, everybody understands the importance of rewards. The true moment of truth for a loyalty program is the redemption moment, and especially on flights. So because, again, Emirates' experience is unique, and people are seeking that experience in some way or fashion. And again, an upgrade does drive a lot of engagement with the airline downline when that happens.
I'm going to paraphrase a lot of the questions that we're getting into one, because there's a lot that fit in the same vein. And this is it. If you've got more members, and you said you were about 9% up in members, and we know that the Emirates flights are fairly full, is it getting harder to use points to get a seat or an upgrade?
I've mentioned earlier that the activities in terms of redemptions have gone up double digit, and then 95% of the redemptions are still on flights. And we know that these are the most aspirational redemptions, and we continue to support that. There is a balance we strike. We work with our finance and revenue optimization departments so that we have access to those seats. As I said, we made it less expensive for people to use their miles, especially in economy. We allowed them to do one way. That helped us increase by 50% or so the number of reward tickets that we get out there. Flight redemptions continue to be a focus for us, and we continue to strike the right balance for us to make that happen. And we haven't seen really what we've seen is true, that upgrades are becoming more closer to the time of departure. And we're one of the few airlines that allow you to upgrade at check-in or even on board when there is a seat available. There is one upgrade a minute. I mean, this is probably a stat that somebody needs to remember. One upgrade a minute that's happening on our network. And if I take it beyond just miles upgrades into how many upgrades our members are getting through other schemes, like paying either cash upgrades or operational upgrades, we have 1 million upgrades a year for our members.
If you've got more and more members, how do you make sure that the lounges remain exclusive and something that feel like a treat with more and more people in them?
We have, as I said, a long tail of infrequent travelers, and we made sure that the program is democratized also for those infrequent travelers. When it comes to elite members and premium members, as I mentioned before, we're actually flat year over year on maintaining that, so that we maintain that exclusivity in some way. We've just announced a week ago that first class redemptions are only accessible to our premium members. You've seen the announcements around what we're doing with the first class products. So we want to make sure that exclusivity stays there. However, for every single member, from the first mile they earn, they can actually redeem that using Cash Plus Miles. We've increased on Fly Dubai, we increased by 30% the value of those miles. Actually, on Fly Dubai and Emirates, by 30% now. The Cash Plus Miles conversions, and that's for people who just have 10,000 miles or less, cannot afford to get the upgrade or the classic rewards. They can still get a discount on their ticket using Cash Plus Miles as a scheme.
We had you in at the end of 2023 when you had the big revision to redemptions. How often do you look to revise the program?
When you had me there, it was actually 10 years passed before we made that revision. We're very careful to remain stable so that people know how to plan, how do they optimize the use of their miles. So we're very stable when it comes to that. But we're tied also to the airline. And then it's very simple to see that with the fares going up, we need to adjust so that we can stay economical, if you will, even internally, in terms of getting access to those seats.
Are you discussing a revision at the moment?
We're not. We've done that revision, and we're staying very stable, as I mentioned. We've just introduced, by the way, Classic Rewards on Fly Dubai. That is going to give us massive inventory as well. And these are commercial inventory seats that we have negotiated with Fly Dubai. So you've got that, between us and Fly Dubai, between Emirates and Fly Dubai, 220 destinations that are available for our UAE-based members.
And he let it slip that he'd signed a new deal at 8 p.m. last night. So we thought, we're not letting you go anywhere. So we've kept him to tell us exactly what that deal is. Dr. Najib Ben-Khedher, Senior Vice President at Skywards. What were you signing last night?
Well, Brandy, thank you for mentioning that. I just got clearance from the team also to be able to talk about it. So, listen, Skywards is positioning itself as the first, I would just say, city-centric loyalty program, underpinned obviously by a currency here, Skywards Miles. So you've seen us as a currency for Dubai Mall, at Dubai Duty Free. And now we are going to be also partnering with the Coca-Cola Arena. So you will be able to use your miles for events, VIP access actually to our suite at the Coca-Cola Arena for all the events that they have. And we're talking about dozens of events that cater to all the segments as well. So we're very, very proud to do that. That's part, again, of building this ecosystem here in Dubai and becoming, again, the Dubai happiness currency, if you will.
Right. So being able to use your Skywards miles, not just to go and see concerts, but to go and see concerts in a nice box.
Yes, absolutely. If you allow me to announce a second deal that we have done.
I think we might let that happen.
Yes. So we've just signed with Marriott a two-way conversion deal where you can use your Marriott Bonvoy and convert them to Skywards miles and vice versa. We've also signed a few weeks back with Accor All as well. So that, again, allows you to use your miles, for hotels through this conversion.
Okay, so that Marriott one is very, very new.
Yes.
What kind of sums do you do internally to figure out what it's going to mean for the way miles are redeemed and
Yep.
how many passengers or members you might pick up from the Marriott network?
Well, Marriott has always been a strategic partner of ours where you actually can do double dipping. Basically, if you're staying at a hotel or you're flying, you're getting Marriott Bonvoy points, but also getting Skywards miles. But in this case, you can also convert those miles to points and vice versa. This has allowed us, by the way, I talked about our growth in the US. The strategic partnership we had with Marriott helps a lot also with catering to a segment because they have a very large base. I think Marriott Bonvoy has now more than 200 million members. It's one of the largest loyalty programs. I think the largest hotel loyalty program as well.
Do you go looking for loyalty programs to tie up with when Emirates announces new routes? Do you have a look at a country and you think, right, who are the big hotel players? Who's the big car hire company?
Yeah, we work both on a global stage, so we work with global programs as much as possible, but we also have to have local relevance as well. So we say we are a global with local relevance. So we look at global that can allow us that access to all these markets, but also to local relevance as we do here in Dubai with a number of retailers.
Bringing it back to the finance department, how do you make sure that you're not diluting the Emirates spend? Because if I upgrade or get a free seat, I've paid for it in a way by buying Emirates flights. But the more partners you have, the higher the possibility that I've paid for it somewhere else.
Yes, absolutely. There's a value for the miles, which is basically computed based on where the redemptions are happening. So an upgrade has a value associated with it, a classic reward as well, a commercial value, and that gives us a value of the mile. And obviously, finance makes sure that we're selling the miles, if you will, to partners at that minimum value, if you will. But that's how it works out.
Well, we've kept him in for his announcement. It turns into two announcements. And I know you've got places to be because Skywards actually celebrating its birthday at the moment, 25 years of Skywards.
Thank you for mentioning that. So happy anniversary to all the team. Actually, in May, we started in 2000. We're in 2025. We're getting a big facelift from a technology perspective. Oh, that's the third announcement.
Oh, brilliant.
So the big cutover is happening 9th and 10th of June. So watch for messaging coming to the members as well, since there will be, a few functionality that will not be available during these 2 dates. But a much needed, more than a facelift, and I wish to say an organ transplant, if you will, because it's 25 years we've been, working with the system that we have. And now with the expansion that we're seeing from a program perspective, we really needed a fit-for-purpose technology for...
New app?
Not truly a new app. This is truly the system behind the scenes that are working out on managing the tiers, profiles, and etc. But watch the space on the app as well. Skywards Every Day is as our app where we tie up with, as I said, a number of retailers. We're bringing, maybe a fourth announcement. We're bringing redemption into the app as well on Skywards Every Day in a few weeks, hopefully, after this big cutover is happening.
Glad you stayed, Dr. Najib. Lovely
Always.
to have you in, Dr. Najib Ben-Khedher, Senior Vice President for the Skywards Loyalty Programme from Emirates. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Brandy.
Dubai Eye 103.8.
Join the conversation.